All right. Hey, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin. I'm your host, Vays. We're going to probably go straight to the charts. Did not have time for a video yesterday. Was at the conference all day, but finally got to a video today. So let's do it. All right, so here's a weekly chart. The weekly chart is having a nice candle, but it still has not yet recovered all the losses of last week's candle. Last week's candle was actually super bad. It was a bearish candle. It closed near the bottom of its candle. It had a red star according to the MRI, and we are fully below all weekly moving averages. While this is a nice little bullish move, I don't see how this candle reverses the overall bearish trend other than, it's Bitcoin. Eventually, Bitcoin will have to rise and go to a new all-time high because Bitcoin doesn't actually have anywhere else to go as Bitcoin becomes more and more useful to society. Our 4-day candles consensus allocation chart. Now, this one is a little bit better than the weekly one because this candle has fully covered all of last candle's losses. We made a new swing high. We made a new closing high, assuming we close in the vicinity of $21,000 in 6.5 hours. This is my area for a potential sufficient lower low to try to catch the falling knife. If we're not catching the falling knife, we have to wait for the picture to reverse. And I'm going to stay true to consensus this time around, and I will absolutely wait until the moving averages have crossed over. Until the moving averages have crossed over, I am really not interested in entering any bullish positions. So we will wait on that. Daily chart. A daily chart is still inside our horizontal channel. This is the channel in which I am not interested in taking on any bullish position. According to the MRI, the green star candle right here is enough to enter a bullish trade. However, I am going to stick to the overall picture with the channel, and I would wait for Bitcoin to establish itself above $21,500. The irony of the situation will be that once Bitcoin does happen to establish itself above that level, we will be at an MRI top, which is an indication of selling your bullish positions instead of entering them. So we will wait and see when Bitcoin finally makes it above this channel. The overall higher risk probability is that we will not sustain anything good above the channel. We will go back to the bottom of the channel and we will drop below the channel. No different than what happened in May and early June. Let's drop this just a moment. So this is May 9th until June 13th. So about 5 weeks worth of time. If we take 5 weeks worth of time, this would be June 15th. We would need to go all the way into the end of July to match this time. And look what happened. We broke hard below the channel. Until Bitcoin proves to us that it's ready to go up, this is the more likely scenario to repeat. Now, we are still very far below the 50-period moving average, and you can see how as we got close to the 50-period moving average, we then dropped hard all the way down. And this could be a very similar situation. I'm not going to extend the channel yet. We'll wait and see how Bitcoin plays inside this channel. But very, very likely, I would give this a 55% probability out of 100 that what happened here is going to repeat one more time. That would be, of course, the final capitulation low for Bitcoin. Hopefully, companies like Celsius and other very scammy operations will disappear, never to be heard from again. Many more shitcoins will disappear. And I would be happy that the market will heal itself and will now go up in a proper, less leveraged way. So as much as it would hurt watching Bitcoin go all the way down to $12,000, $11,000, if it wipes out the inefficiencies and the scamminess of the crypto space, it would all be completely, totally worth it. And if you have some fiat left and you're not fully all in yet, that would be the perfect opportunity to go all in. I don't believe Bitcoin will drop below 10K, but anything, 11,000 and above is certainly possible, though the more likely outcome is still a smaller drop down to 16, 15, and then a quick recovery back to 20, hang out around 20 a little longer, and then September, October, start the big rise in the price of Bitcoin. All right, guys, I got to mention the financial summit. We are about 3 weeks away now. It is going to take place August 1st. We're just 3 weeks away from this event. So hopefully a few more people are interested and come and join us. The financial summit after the Dominican Republic will be in Bali. So you can check out Bali as well. If the Dominican Republic is not for you, just click on the Bali tab, and we already have a few people that registered for Bali. Bali seems to be a great destination. Everybody loves it. If you've never been, this is our resort, and the room that's included with the resort, either one of these middle floor suites, because the rooftop are the penthouse, they're a little more expensive, and the bottom floor have a private pool as well, so they're a little bit more expensive. Otherwise, you can get included with your registration a villa with its own private pool. That's also included in the registration, but these suites are also super nice. So check out the Bali event. We're going to update, the people that are going to Bali. Haven't really figured out which of the high-profile attendees are going to be in Bali, but this is our incredible resort. We've done it here before and can't wait to do it again. Follow us on the Financial Summit YouTube channel. Let's see if we can get to 400 subscribers as I take a look at your live chat and see if there's any good questions. Do you need a vaccine to enter Bali? That's a great question. You technically need a vaccine to enter Bali. However, if you don't have a vaccine to enter Bali, you have to do a 5-day quarantine. And as luck would have it, our hotel where we're hosting the Financial Summit is listed with the government as a quarantine hotel. We don't really plan to leave this hotel and its private beach. We're there for the entire 5 days. So by attending the Financial Summit without being vaccinated, you would have fulfilled your quarantine quota by spending it with us. So even if you are not vaccinated, you are still very, very welcome to join us at the Financial Summit. We have solved that little problem. Yeah, please follow us on the Financial Summit YouTube channel. We will be posting some educational material here on trading and investing very soon. We also have our Instagram. Can't wait to get to 1,000 followers. Why are there scammy tone vases? No, that one's actually me following. But there's so many scam tone vases. It is horrible. But check out the Financial Summit on Instagram, and we're trying to do a little more with our Twitter account as well. All right, short-term chart. No comment really. It looks bullish. The short-term 1-hour chart has broken above this consolidation. Anytime you break above consolidation, this is clearly an ascending triangle, one of my favorite patterns. So definitely bullish for now, and we'll see where that goes. GBTC is still waiting on GBTC to have a little bit of a rally, wiping out this premium. Until then, we have to patiently keep waiting. Oil jumped down a little bit, looks like yesterday. This is a weekly chart of oil. I remain pretty bullish on oil. You guys know that. I am still bullish on oil. I don't think this is over. I don't think there's any interest by the UAE, by the Arab nations, by Russia to create and suddenly supply more oil. This whole situation with Russia, Ukraine geopolitically is completely insane. I saw this morning that Boris Johnson has stepped down. Boris Johnson had incredible momentum when he became the Prime Minister of the UK, and he basically threw his entire career in politics down the toilet with his, Russia-Ukraine handling. He's not the first, well, he might be the first major casualty of the stupidity in his handling of the Russia-Ukraine situation. He is not going to be the last. This should have been, anyone with 2 cents in their brain, 2 brain cells in their brain, could have handled the Russia-Ukraine situation better and not destroy their political career. So it's really incredible what is going on. And I want to take a look at the British pound and see what's happening. Yep, Boris Johnson, literally, he's gone, because what happens is when your country puts another country ahead of itself, and this is the problem with the globalism. It's all great helping other people, but when you start helping strangers ahead of your own family, that tends to be a problem. It works in your house the way it works on a global political scale. So if you want to know how to handle these situations in your family, in your home, don't be kinder to strangers than your own family members, basically, because your family members will not like that very much. So when the UK turned their back on their own citizens in favor of their geopolitics, that's what's going to happen, which I clearly warned about. The same thing will probably happen in many, many other nations. Gold will probably go down quite a bit if the rumor is true and there is enough gold in Uganda to double the world supply of gold. Then gold isn't very scarce, is it? So we were watching it from a technical analysis perspective, and I told you guys that once once gold drops below 1800, it's all over, and gold becomes a bit of a basket case. And here we are. The moment we closed a new low candle, I announced it on this channel that gold's done, and there it goes. Had a huge collapse. I want to take a look at the euro. I want to take a look at the British pound. I actually want to see if the pound went up on the news. When an incompetent leader gets removed, it actually creates confidence in the markets. When an incompetent CEO gets removed, the stock of that company tends to rise. So we're about to find out with the UK stock market and the UK currency whether the step down of Boris Johnson is good for the UK markets and what the actual money says. He became a grossly incompetent prime minister, again, with his handling of the Russia-Ukraine situation and being a complete and total puppet of the United States regime, which itself is a grossly incompetent organization. So when Joe Biden steps down in a similar way to Boris Johnson, I expect the stock market to rise in confidence that a grossly incompetent leader has been removed. This is a big geopolitical side that you really want to be aware of. I don't see any correlation between Bitcoin and gold whatsoever. So gold dumping, I don't see how gold dumping would result in Bitcoin rising. I don't see that much of I don't see as much of a crossover between Bitcoin and gold as you think. Boris has not been removed. He is staying there until there is a new leader. He's effectively been removed. It's, I mean, all of that is formality, right? Like, let's not split hairs here. You can read between the lines. Boris is done, and good. I'm very happy about that, to be honest with you guys. I know I'm not in the UK. Just like I gave Peter McCormick shit for having way too much interest in the US presidential election. He was a big Biden supporter during the election. I mean, I really, it's not my place to comment on UK politics, but I felt the UK getting the hell out of the sinking ship of the European Union was a smart thing for the Brits, and getting rid of Boris Johnson is also a smart thing for the Brits. However, there's a high probability that the next leader they elect would be more incompetent than Boris Johnson, just like the Canadians are very likely to re-elect Trudeau, or probably. I bet you Trudeau is getting re-elected. He was re-elected the first time and the second time, and the Canadians seem to love Trudeau, no matter how many rights and freedoms he takes away. They continue to clap and vote him back in. I still have hope for the US election, but we'll see what happens there. There's no Russia propaganda story. The Russia-Ukraine situation, as much as everyone wants to destroy Russia, Russia has managed to demilitarize all of Europe because they all send their weapons to Ukraine to get blown up by Russia. And now European leaders are going to be dropping like flies. So instead of having, all the policies after the Russia-Ukraine situation broke out, all the policies to eliminate Putin and cause economic and political overthrows in Russia have resulted in the West doing so to themselves. And I am very frustrated by that because I live in the West. So the stupidity is going to take, similar stupidity will start taking place in the US as well. At no point have I said I agreed with the invasion. If you think that I agreed with the invasion from everything I say on the situation, then you are just making shit up and being a liar. I never said I agreed with the invasion. What I say is I understand why the invasion happened. And anyone that doesn't understand why the invasion happened will do dumb-ass policies to just hurt themselves and their own nations if you are in a position of leadership. Thoughts on the Dutch farmers protest? I don't know much about it. I don't really know exactly what they are protesting. I understood what the truckers were protesting. I'm not exactly sure what the truckers are protesting, probably because I haven't looked into it. I believe there might be protesting the European Union's crackdown on human beings and forcing them to, not use any energy whatsoever and go back to using candles and not being able to grow cattle. Like, I have no idea. So I'm not fully sure what the Dutch farmers are protesting because I haven't looked into it. So I can't properly comment. The way the West is dealing with the Russia-Ukraine situation is going to destroy the West. It's not going to destroy Russia. It's going to destroy the West. And Boris Johnson is the first one to go. Big A, I'm telling you. Tone, explain to us even one place that reported Boris Johnson was asked to step down. I don't give a shit about Western news headlines. I'm telling you, Boris Johnson was asked to step down. I don't care whether the West reported or not. I'm telling you. If Boris Johnson cared more about the concerns of the British people, he might still be prime minister. This is what happens when you stop giving a shit about your own people. Okay. The US, okay, I want to go take a look at the British pound and see what's going on there. The stock market hasn't really done anything, but it is up today. You see the correlation between the stock market and the Bitcoin markets. The stock market is almost back, breaking its prior swing high. This is the swing high that Bitcoin also needs to cross. I don't know if the S&P 500 has bottomed for the same reason I don't know if the Bitcoin market has bottomed. I don't know yet. All I can tell you is that when the stock market started falling, I expected this vicinity to be a stock market low. I do not believe we are entering a 1929 style stock market crash. I don't. I believe the stock market will reverse and go higher. Now that could have already happened, or it can happen, later this summer at a lower low. The same exact thing I say about Bitcoin on, say, the monthly scale. We can either reverse right now and go up, or we can make one more swing low to as low as 12, 11,000, just like the stock market. I have absolutely no idea. Tone, next UK Prime Minister could lead UK into a war with Russia. It is possible, but I do not believe that the Brits are ready to go enlist in the army to go fight Russia. I don't think the Brits are that stupid. Maybe whichever politician Klaus Schwab puts in charge of the UK might want to do that, but I don't think the Brits are that dumb. I could be proven very wrong. I think going to war with Russia is one of the dumbest things a Western country can do. But Lithuania seems to want to do it, so let's see how it works out for them. I need to catch up. I've been at the conference, so I haven't really kept up with the geopolitics situation. Bitcoin dominance, I pulled it up the other day. I really don't care about it. Okay, Russian ruble. Look at the Russian ruble, finding its high for the ruble, and it's went all the way down to 50 rubles to the dollar on an MRI buy reversal. The ruble has been devaluing against the US dollar, which I'm sure Russia is not all that upset about. But I do think that in the near future, we have just back tested this area, and that might have been it. And it's very likely the ruble will continue to appreciate against the US dollar. I do want to pull up, I also want to pull up the Turkish currency. I think Turkey is going to give in completely with this whole NATO thing. Again, I need to keep up with that news myself. I want to see how the Turkish currency is doing. Let's see, where is it? No, Turkey is still a Turkish lira is still in serious trouble. It hit an MRI top, 1 to 4 candle correction, weekly scale, and now the Turkish lira is once again starting to devalue. We are coming up on a monthly MRI top, so that could be final relief for the Turkish lira to go back down, though currencies seem to devalue only in one direction. Let's take a look at the pound versus the dollar. Okay, this is pounds in terms of dollars, and as you can see, the Boris Johnson stepping down has not added any confidence to the British pound. I also want to take a look at the British stock market. I want to see if it added any confidence to the markets. The British pound is now approaching a 25-year low. That's impressive. That is impressive. The British pound is approaching a 30. How many years is this? Jeez, that's a monthly scale. 1985. Wow, that's when the G5 started in order to devalue the US dollar. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do you guys realize this is the lowest monthly? This is the weakest the British pound has been in most of my viewers' lifetime. I would say we have about 400 live viewers. I would say 300 of you were born after 1985. So in your lifetime, the British pound has never been this cheap. That shows global, what do you call it? Loss of confidence. This is a global loss of confidence in the British pound. Now we're going to go and take a look at the euro, the other basket case. Euro is about to reach parity with the US dollar. I have been saying this for a long time. I have been made look like an idiot for almost 10 years now, because back in 2014, over here, 2014, around 2014, when I started doing my presentations, I was saying how the euro is going to parity with the US dollar and weaker than parity. That the euro will be cheaper than the dollar. I also expected the euro common currency to collapse and break off into its components. I fully expected that even by this time. I didn't think the euro would make it to 2023, but it's still, kicking on its last leg. So bye-bye euro. Again, the European handling of the Russia-Ukraine situation has made this significantly worse. I know none of you want to agree with me that any of this has anything to do with Russia-Ukraine, but it does. A lot of it does. The Russia-Ukraine situation is more important globally than people like to give it credit for. Everyone only talks about it in terms of, human life catastrophe, but this has insane geopolitical ramifications for generations to come. This is why this war needed to be avoided at all costs. And no one in the West, absolutely no one, especially the United States, especially the UK, and many other countries, including Ukraine itself, had absolutely no interest in avoiding this war. All right, I got a super chat. What do I think of the triple Qs? Well, that's just the NDX. I can take a look at it. Man, I remember studying cow farts in my geology class and how it creates methane and how dangerous it is. Wow, the bullshit they teach you, even in geology classes, is out of control. The dollar is, of course, skyrocketing. This is really expected. And the only time I felt that the dollar is in trouble was when Joe Biden was elected. So the only with that election, I felt that the world would start to lose confidence in the US dollar because they would no longer have respect for the US political system and the US economic system. But Europe, and mostly Europe, has proven to us that you could go way dumber than what the US did with their election. And by Europe, I mean Europe plus Australia plus New Zealand plus Canada. What we're going to look at, I think that's it. Oh, no. I wanted to look at the UK stock market and see how the Boris Johnson news is affecting the markets. And we can look at NDX as well, right? Like QQQ is NDX. Oh, well, you see my arrows, right? I drew these arrows a long time ago. I drew these arrows in early May. Early May, I drew this arrow. I expected the NASDAQ to go down to approximately these levels and then reverse to the upside. I am expecting it to go to new all-time highs. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what companies will lead the charge, because I think companies like Facebook and Twitter really need to go away because they are just censorship machines. So is Google. I don't know what's going to replace them. Something really needs to replace them. Hopefully some changes are coming, maybe utilize the Bitcoin blockchain, liquid sidechain. I don't know. Build some more, less, speech censored platforms. No, I'm not making it up. Cow farts was in the geology textbook as a methane gas release. I'm not saying that whether other ways of releasing the gas are more or less, but I was definitely taught that cow farts are a problem. It doesn't mean they're the biggest problem, but yeah, and this was like 30 years ago at this point. Not 30, but 20, 25. And the UK, where is the UK 100? I'm not sure what MMT is. UBI is universal basic income. Yeah, the West's solution to inflation is to print more money and give it to you. This is how stupid it has gotten. Yeah, I'm more confident in Bitcoin than ever before. See, if you look at the UK stock market, it has actually held up reasonably well. This is the monthly chart of the UK stock market, and they're holding up better than the US stock market. They are right near all-time high. This is the breakout area, though the UK did hit its all-time high back in 2018, and they are somewhere around that zone. I would put this as like the breakout area. The UK stock market is only down 9%. The UK markets have done significantly better than the US markets. If we look at Dow Jones, which is probably down the least out of all of them, we're down 20%. So the UK has fared this much better, but the Dow Jones made its all-time high in 2021. The UK made its all-time high back in 2018. So they're just lagging behind. But let's see who the UK bring in 3 months from now as their new prime minister. Oh, modern monetary theory. Yeah, that's just printing money. Next up, human farts are the problem. Hey, don't tempt them. Don't they'll get there. They'll get there. The amount of stupidity to use to hold humans back and reduce the population and tax you to death and take away any of your rights, they're only going to go up. And as long as Klaus Schwab is in charge, that's going to keep happening. And Klaus Schwab is in charge. Whoever is the next UK prime minister, he will be hand selected by Klaus Schwab. Every single European politician pretty much gets hand selected by Klaus Schwab, except one, except the guy over in Hungary, which is why they hate him so much. Right. I'm actually not sure why, like the European Commission, right? Like the EU, like your prime minister of your country barely matters. The EU makes all the decisions, and they're unelected politicians. They're just selected by Klaus Schwab. So if you take EU as a whole, forget about your country. And trust me, like, I don't know, the president of Greece has absolutely no say in anything the European Union does. He has no say whatsoever. The chancellor of Germany might have some say, and the Macron in France thinks he has some say, but he doesn't. And the UK is technically not in the European Union, so they don't have a say in the European Union either. Like the only European politician that has a say in the Europe's decisions is the Chancellor of Germany. That's it. Everyone else is just there for a photo op. And even he barely has a say because 90% of the politicians that run Europe, they are unelected. They are hand selected. They're unelected. So I don't really understand a big difference between Europe and Russia. It's very, very similar. I don't see how your vote in the EU matters whatsoever. Maybe if Le Pen got elected in France, we could have seen a little bit of a pushback and see what happens there. But saying that the EU is some kind of a, example of democracy and Russia is a dictatorship is insane, because all the European bureaucrats that actually run Europe, they don't stand for election. So I don't really see where the difference is. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. It's been a 45-minute stream. And, oh, I haven't looked at this map either. This is the last time I looked at the map. And the time before that, all of this was white. And then it just turned red. So I'm going to try to take a mental picture of this so I can remember what it was. And then I'm going to refresh this. It's been a couple of days. I haven't paid attention. So let's see where we are. And this is very pro-Western, so they update slowly. Okay, so it hasn't changed. So this is exactly where it was the last time I refreshed it. Okay, so not much has changed then. Right, but those Euro MPs are actually useless. They don't do anything. They have no power. They have no power whatsoever. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.